Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I've tried, man, this is like the 5th attempt at this video. I keep like starting and deleting. I think I'm just gonna let, this one's the one. I'm just gonna let this one roll. So, are you living the dream or are you waking up from the dream? There is a distinct difference. Let's see here. 2 thought systems, love or fear. So 2 internal teachers, or that old saying, 2 dogs inside, one's good, one's evil. Which one wins? Are they fighting each other? Which one wins? The one that I feed the most. No, they're killing each other. That was in a movie. That's kind of funny. No, they're killing each other. So, the teacher of love. Some of the key concepts I'll go over. I've went over them in some of my other videos. I want to kind of elaborate on them. So, seeing everybody the same is, if you choose a thought system of love, you see the world without judgment. And usually the biggest problem or the lack of peace that we feel inside most of the time is from how we see other people. And it's choosing a thought system of love, you start to see that everybody's the same, despite appearances and despite what they do behaviorally is the key. So understanding this is really, it's not about at the level of behavior, because an example is if you were a police officer and you were practicing these things, if you're doing higher consciousness work, you probably wouldn't be a police officer for a whole, you probably eventually quit, but if you did find yourself in a situation like that, you would, if you were like arresting someone who was behaving badly, you would still see that the innocence in that person is intact. Just like a parent scalding a child, you would see that this person is asleep, or you would see beyond the behavior, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is seeing everybody the same is not treating everybody the same. I think that's what I'm really trying to say. And usually you could say that we're set on default to the ego thought system. And so seeing everybody the same is so important, and really it's becoming self-aware to realize how much we don't see people around us as the same. In different traditions, different spiritual practices, I think in Buddhism it's like the Bodhisattva vow. Part of the Bodhisattva vow is to have compassion for all beings. And in A Course in Miracles, we see the Christ in everyone. Behind appearances is the Christ in everyone. In other traditions, it's seeing that, the spirit is the same spirit is within everyone, despite whether they're aware of it or not. So, where am I going here with all this? If you choose the thought system of fear, you choose a thought system of scarcity and lack, because the thought system of fear, it's the belief that we separated from a state of perfect love, where all our needs are met. So the body is a reflection of that choice to separate, or that belief that we separated. The body reflects it, so the body is under the laws of health. The body is programmed by the ego mind to age and die. And then we think it's happening to us and not by us. So as one dreaming mind, it's like we program this entire reality using mathematical laws of illusion to convince us that we are a separated individual. So it's really key to remember that. That is probably one of the biggest keys, and you don't really even have to believe that. You're not even expected to believe that at first. It's just to keep an open mind is probably the key. So yeah, that's number one. Most of our lack of peace results from how we perceive others. You could say like health is another big one, or if your car doesn't start, you think that's the reason for your lack of peace. Or something, you lose something, it seems like that's the reason for the lack of peace. We have to see that all these smaller things that we blame our lack of peace on really cover up the real reason that we don't have peace. The real reason is, of course, because we don't even know that we're choosing this, the thought system of fear, the teacher of fear. The teacher of separation, the teacher of lack and scarcity, because I've separated from my source, now I have to fend for myself, I've got to take care of myself to survive, and then you don't survive anyways. The body's programmed to die by the mind, so we think, it's not my fault, life's not my fault, none of this stuff is my fault, the weather's not my fault, my genes that I inherited that are fucking me over is not my fault. Everything's not my fault. I didn't even ask to be here. That's how this reality's set up by the ego mind, is to make it seem like we're an innocent victim of circumstance. So once you're able to see through that game, you're able to take total responsibility of your mind and your feelings about how you perceive other people mainly. And then it leads us to the gate, where we see the forgiven world, the world without guilt. It's very freeing and liberating. Otherwise, we remain in fear. We're afraid of everybody. It's like, they're strangers. They might attack me or rob me, or anything bad could happen at any time. It's like I need to employ an evil government to protect me, and then I can blame my problems on the government too. It's like we want to blame everybody else for our suffering or our problem, but it's our own failed responsibility to embrace who we really are, to choose again, to choose the teacher of love. Probably not the most popular choice yet. It will be, I'm sure. What else here? Seeing everybody the same, seeing everybody the same, it doesn't mean treating everybody the same. Don't get confused there. Seeing everybody the same is definitely not treating everybody the same. At the behavioral level, we act accordingly. We do the best we can. We use our common sense, but internally, we see, despite how big of a fuck up you are, or how miserable, I perceive you, or whatever, it's underneath all that, the innocence and the love is still intact within you, despite what you may have did or done, and then we have to see that total forgiveness is really what we want. But you can still be a badass on the outside if that's your thing, but you can still practice these teachings. Even if you're a soldier in a war, you could see everything is perfect. That you could see, even on a battlefield, you could have this revelation that we are all the same one, and that really we're fighting ourselves. What else here? So yeah, scarcity, it all goes back to the original moment when we believe we separated from our source. Be open and willing to see things differently. Two internal teachers, love or fear, make the choice. In each, throughout the day, we're presented with that internal choice so many different times. And remember, whenever we're upset, that be willing to see things differently. Am I willing to see this differently? Do I want to be right, or do I want to be happy? Do I want to be right about the separation, the illusion of separation, or do I want to be happy that I'm wrong about everything? I'm wrong about everything I believe about the world of separation. So it's choosing love. Choosing love. I think that's the whole key thing. Where are we at? 10 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I will look forward to making more videos for you. I'm going to keep working on it, presenting this material in a way that can be understood. And I will see you next time. And remember, are you waking up? Are you living the dream, or are you waking up from the dream? Thanks for watching.